Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, I'll be talking about the Washington Commanders' biggest X factor heading into the 2025 NFL season, and that is Marshawn Latimore. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video on the road to 16,000 subscribers. Let's get right into it. So, the Washington Commanders made a big mid-season trade last year for Marshawn Latimore. A lot of people, myself included, were very excited at the time of the trade. They needed cornerback help, and they got it with Marshawn Latimore, a guy that was, I believe, 27, 20. I know he's 28 now, but might have been 27, or he was already 28 at the time of the trade, and was one of the better cornerbacks in the league. Has been dealing with some injuries over the last few years, and sorry, my voice is still a little bit gone, but it is what it is. Still gotta push out content. But Marshawn Latimore, had an up and down stint for the Commanders. Took a while to play because of a hamstring injury. Let's look at the game logs here for 2024. We'll look at the 2024 game logs. So once he came to the Commanders, didn't play until week 15 against the Saints, which he had a great game, an amazing game. Didn't allow a single completion, didn't get targeted one time. Then against the Eagles, it was not so great. I mean, he did have some really nice plays, I'm not going to lie, but he also did allow a lot of big plays and had a lot of penalties, even though, in my opinion, some of those penalties were a little bit BS. But he played in that game, re-injured his hamstring there. Didn't play against the Falcons, and obviously didn't play against the Cowboys because they didn't necessarily need to win that game. They already were in the playoffs. It was just a matter of seeding, which it ended up, not mattering because the Packers lost, but Commanders also won at the end, so it didn't matter. But Latimore was, missed a lot of games last year and had multiple injuries. I mean, it was, I guess, one injury, but re-aggravated it. So had multiple stints where he was out. Drafted in 2017, played for Ohio State with Terry McLaurin there. And yeah, the first 5 years of his career were outstanding and really didn't miss many games. But the last 3 years in particular, he's missed a lot of games. In 2022, played in 7 games. In 2023, played in 10 games. And in 2024, which was this past year, played in 9 games, not including the playoffs. And like I said, it was a little bit up and down in those games he did play. The Saints game was really good. The Eagles games weren't too great. The Bucks game was awful, especially in the first half. And, the Lions game was pretty good. So, like I said, up and down season for Marshawn Latimore in DC. But he has the talent, and, he was not fully healthy last year. Sorry about that. He was not fully healthy last year, and if we can get, that 2021 Marshawn Latimore, which, we are in 2025 at this point, it's been 4 years, but if we can get that type of Marshawn Latimore, that could be huge for this Commanders defense. And it's not even about the level of play, it's more about his health, because when he is fully healthy, I think he still can play, maybe not at an all-pro level, but at a Pro Bowl level. And this past year, he just wasn't healthy. Even when he was on the field, he was not healthy, especially in that second stint back. The first stint, once he came back, he had a long time off, and I thought he looked fine. But when he came back for that first playoff game against the Bucks, it was really bad. It was really, really bad, and you could just tell he was not healthy. He was not healthy. Latimore was getting abused all first half. Allowed 1 touchdown at least, definitely. I think he had a penalty and just allowed a bunch of catches to Mike Evans. A big, a bunch of big catches. And yeah, there were some potential OPIs there, but still, Latimore was getting tossed around like a rag doll, by Mike Evans, who usually he owns. And you could, like I said, you could just see he wasn't fully good to go. And, they had him out there because they thought there was a better option than, the alternative, which was, Benjamin St. Juste and some other guys. But, Latimore wasn't great. The next week, he was a little bit better against the Lions and St. Brown and those guys. And then the week after that, didn't play the best against the Eagles. So this year will be huge for him and, gets a full off season. You want to make sure he's as healthy as possible so that, they're able to get a healthy Marshon Latimore. If he is healthy and he gives you the play that you thought you were going to get when you traded for him, that changes the defense a lot. You got a lockdown corner there. You got Mike Sanders still, who's a very good corner, had a very good rookie year and, has a chance to be a very good corner in this league. And then you got Trey Amos, who you just drafted, who maybe can be really good as well. Those three, that has a chance to be a really, really good trio. But Latimore is, the X factor in that defense because we're pretty sure, Mike Sanders still is going to have a good year. At the minimum, you have a guy in Jonathan Jones who can play solid for you. And Trey Amos, he could be another type of X factor, but he's a rookie. So a little bit more boom or bust in terms of his rookie year production. But Marshon Latimore is the true X factor on this team. Is going to be gone after this year if they don't extend him. So, they don't have much guaranteed money left on his deal. So they can get out of it if they want. If he doesn't produce this year, they can get out of it. But, obviously they gave up a decent amount of capital, third round pick, some other mid round picks as well. So, you want to, get a, recoupment, you want to recoup your investment. So, you want to reap the benefits of your investment. That's probably a better phrase there. So, see what he can do this year. Hopefully you can have at least a good corner, but potentially a lockdown corner in Marshon Latimore for the next, few years. He's still 28 years old. That's not old at all. Let's see when his birthday is. I guess he's about to turn 29, but still, that's pretty young considering he got in the league in 2017. I mean, he's been in the league, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons. And he is not 30 yet. He's 28. So very young when he got in the league and is still relatively young. And the biggest thing, like I said about him, is health. So it's not even because the start of the season, he'll probably be healthy, knock on wood. So it's about staying healthy throughout the process, but also in the off season as well, making sure he's taking care of his body and he doesn't get hurt in the off season. Other stuff, he changed his number from 23 to number 2, which is what he wore in college, so that's cool. And but yeah, at the end of the day, it just matters how he plays this year. And if he plays, he'll get paid. We don't need a bunch of this extra nonsense with him, with the penalties and stuff like that. Extracurricular activities. I could see it with Pickens. Mike Sanders already got into it with him last year. Pickens is already, by himself, just crazy and is looking for fights. And Latimore isn't that bad, but he does look for fights sometimes. So both of those guys, Sanders has to watch out a little bit, but definitely Latimore when they play Pickens, and then also just the other teams with these stud receivers. He got into it with AJ Brown in the playoff game. But that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys new, and peace.